Hey, welcome to For the Story, the podcast saying to all our Jewish brothers and sisters, Happy Toyotathon. I'm Ash.
And I'm Avery. And that's right, the holiday of the Jewish, Toyotathon.
Holiday of the Jewish. Nothing wrong with that phrasing. It's a perfect
holiday of the Jewish.
the Jewish of the holiday.
Yeah.
We're back. Sorry about the little wait time. We've had a crazy schedule.
Oh, yeah. It's been something. We like jam-packed a weekend filled with goodies.
Yep. And one of which we still can't remember. I assume we'll remember it in the middle of the episode.
Oh, there's no way we won't. And actually, that's not true.
Yeah, it's entirely possible that we just will forget it.
We watched a lot of movies. It was a roller coaster.
A smorgasbord.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Way too many Christmas movies because Ash is forcing me to watch Christmas movies now.
It's so funny.
They're so sappy and like there's no depth.
There is one that's on Netflix right now that we should watch. It's like called like the Christmas Hunter Shoot Boy McGee or something.
It's
like about a girl.
You're right. That sounds exactly like something I would like.
It's like about a girl who like goes on a trip for Christmas and then her boyfriend gets hunted down by some guy in the woods and then she's being chased by him.
Holy shit. That actually does sound pretty awesome.
See, I know things.
Oh my God. Why didn't we watch that for this week?
Because we were busy watching DooLittle, About Time, and the other one,
which we've both already forgotten.
The
Family Stone. That's what it was. Oh my God. Yeah. So it's the holidays, happy holidays, whatever it is you choose to celebrate. Most likely just Hanukkah and Christmas. I
thought you were just going to say Hanukkah. It's like, we only have Jewish listeners.
Yeah. It's a bold.
What a bold take, dude.
Avery says not Jewish.
I can't even listen to it, dude.
Yeah, I'm not allowed. Yeah, they asked me to sign in.
Convert.
Let me convert.
Avery has like 2 weeks ago, Avery's bit was just saying like, hey, can I just be Jewish? And I'm like, no. I'm going to tell my mom I'm becoming Jewish. Okay, dude.
And then we had some friends over for my birthday last weekend. And Ash brought out I'm not sure what it's called.
A tallis.
Yes, the Jewish garb, you could say, and dressed me up in it. And it was my impromptu bar mitzvah at age 28.
Avery's finally a man.
I'm finally a man.
Very proud of you, dude.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. God, what else can we update people on? Give us 5 stars on iTunes.
Yeah, that too.
That's a thing.
Why not?
We have another podcast, Stories and Sorcery. If you like Dungeons and Dragons or us,
then we got a place for you.
It's
because we're both there.
Yeah.
And so are the Dungeons and the Dragons, and our good friends Ryan Johnston and Steve Flynn also join us on that podcast. So
sure do.
It's storiesandsorcery.podbean.com.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's like the actual and like the word and, not like the ampersand.
Yeah, I don't think you can do the ampersand for that. But yeah. So we're here. We're ready to talk about some movies. Before we get into it, anything else that you've watched recently that you want to talk about?
Yeah. So it's no secret I like Star Trek. I've been in the past couple years going back and watching Star Trek a lot. And he's looking at me like, really? You do that?
Since when?
Yeah. And so I've been, my favorite was Next Generation for a while because it's kind of silly, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And I started watching Deep Space Nine recently because I always kind of wrote that one off because I didn't know anything about it. But I was like, I'm going to try Deep Space Nine. Why the hell not? And it's like everything that's good about Next Generation, but like upped production. So like their set is bigger and it's really cool. And like their costumes are way better, like almost to like a surprising degree.
And not to mention the name sounds like a sex thing.
Yeah. Deep Space Nine. If there was going to be a Star Trek like porn parody.
Yeah, it'd be called like Deeper Spacer 69.
Yeah, it'd be Deep Space 69.
Deep Gape 69.
Wait, wasn't there one? There was a Star Trek porn parody we found that was just like Star Fuck.
No, it was like Sex Trek.
Yeah, it was Sex Trek.
God damn it, that's terrible.
That's such a bad name.
It's so funny.
So yeah, I've been watching not Sex Trek, but Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Gotta say, really enjoying it so far. Like they really just like blew the costume budget for next gen and like pretty much every other one out of the water. They look awesome. Like, and like, obviously it's like, it looks awesome for a 90s sci-fi television show. Right. But, like still like every so often they'll have like a costume on there that I'm like, God damn, like they wouldn't have done that on next gen.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely impressive and their set looks freaking awesome. But yeah, it's very good. So I don't know. I can't really say go back and watch Star Trek unless you like very specific things. But I don't know. Check it out. Why not? Right?
Yeah, why not? On my end, I watched 40 Days and 40 Nights, which is kind of a funny. I've been watching the Dece rom-coms this time around. Mostly because like no, they're all great. There's the one that's like boy girl or whatever, where it's like they're friends, but they're both emotionally detached, and that one was bad. But 40 Days and 40 Nights is kind of funny. Okay, a guy like breaks up with a girl who is like too good at sex, and so he's like hooking up with people, and it's just not doing it for him. That I can relate to that. And then he decides to swear off sex for 40 Days and 40 Nights. Just then he meets the girl of his dreams and he has to, kitty, stop. He has to try and play a game of like keeping that kind of separate in their love life, even though they've started dating. So it's kind of funny. And then I just watched Last Christmas, which I've been wanting to watch because it is so like just the concept. It's like
you guessed it.
Yeah, I literally. Well, it was like it was worse than I expected.
This, by the way, get ready.
Damn, that's crack.
Yeah, dude, I'm real strong.
But then like the whole concept of the movie is like it's George Michael's song, right? Last Christmas.
I don't know.
It's someone.
I know which one you're talking about. But
last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day there's a bit of way.
Last Christmas I gave you my fart.
So like I saw the commercial for this movie right before it came out, and like she's like, I have a heart problem, and I'm like, okay, they're just 100% going to have someone give.
She's got a fart problem.
Well. Nice, dude. Number one, super realistic movie. She was trying to like get on to be in musical theater, but in real life she couldn't sing, so that's good.
That probably happens all the time.
Yeah, so she was like,
that's actually like a good like dose of like character development and realism.
Oh no, they didn't address it at all. It's just
she just was bad.
Yeah, she just wasn't that good.
Oh man, that's not even a plot point.
No.
I was just like, good writing. Like that's because.
It might be a personal preference thing too. I just thought she was bad at singing.
Okay, that could be it.
Yeah, but like I was like, damn, that's realistic. And then at the end of the movie, there's like a guy, and like he won't be around her in public, and like no one's heard of him. And it turns out he's the ghost of the guy who gave her a heart and a heart transplant.
Barf, dude. Absolute barf. Come on.
Which is just exactly how dumb I wanted it to be.
No.
And then he eats her.
That's awesome.
He's like, the very next day, I'm going to take it away.
I'm going to take it all away.
Yeah, but that was Last Christmas. Don't watch any of the movies I've watched.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
No one should do this but me. I'm strong of will.
So I know everyone's talking about Cyberpunk 2077 because it just came out. Yep. I've also been playing it. I made a character who looks exactly like me.
Bald. Fat, short,
terrible sense of humor.
Only 3
Crazy
fingers.
They programmed that in. Only 3 fingers.
This is a perfect description of Avery, by the way.
But all of the worst fingers to have.
It's like Shaka bra on one hand and then the ring finger on the other, but it's not the one you wear a ring on.
Yeah.
That's like the worst 3 fingers.
Yep, that's it. That's the only 3 fingers I have.
Damn.
Yep. And so I've been playing it, and I don't know. I like the whole idea of cyberpunk being all anti-capitalist. Mm-hmm. I think it's really cool. And that's like kind of the idea of cyberpunk. Like this is what happens when our technology and society and capitalism goes way too far. Yeah. And I'm like playing it and I'm realizing that we kind of already live in that world. Like we're pretty close to living in a cyberpunk society.
To be fair, it wasn't like that when the game was supposed to be released.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh my God. 20 years ago.
Yeah.
During the Clinton administration, when this movie was
Clinton wasn't even president 20 years ago.
Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have been
21 years ago.
Yeah, it would have been 21 years ago. So anyway, back during
pre 9/11.
Yeah, pre 9/11, when this movie or this game first was debuted at E3 back in 1867. It just got delayed a lot, dude.
Yeah, that's technically before 9/11.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
that's right. That's when they announced Cyberpunk 2077. They were really forward thinking.
Yeah,
they knew it was going to take
2076 or 28 BC.
It was actually originally Cyberpunk 1977.
Damn.
But because that's what I think of when I think of 1977 as a cyberpunk. Anyway, my point is, it's like I really like the idea of cyberpunk, but like it's almost like we already live in that world, and on top of that, I'm just waiting for it to get really like liberal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Just be like, oh well, actually, there's like a good cop.
Yeah. Like, well, they kind of tease that with like the good cop. I'm serious. Like, I'm not kidding. And, but like, the thing is, and this happened with Borderlands 3, which I always really liked. I've always liked Borderlands, and it is kind of a cyberpunk game.
Yeah. In a way.
Yeah.
Like a little more post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like, there's like developed planets that like where, you know, capitalism has run away completely. And there are these corporations that are constantly warring with each other, and they own governments on planets and stuff like that.
Totally normal.
Which is like end game capitalism.
Yeah.
And but in the third one, they kind of betray it a little bit, and like you like ally with the good CEO, and like it's just like the dumbest, most lib shit ever. and like because like somehow he's gonna make it different. You know, they're the same company. They're just like Coca-Cola, the same company, but they're doing less damage to the environment than before. It's such like crap.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting because I know Cyberpunk's gonna do that, which is such an unfortunate thing, because cyberpunk as a genre is inherent. It's fun, and it's inherently anti-capitalist.
Yeah,
but they're gonna give it away.
Yeah, it's supposed to have a social commentary, but we'll see. I mean, like, you haven't gotten far enough in. All I know is I'll be like asleep, and I'll awake to Avery going, "Wow, the ray tracing looks amazing."
Yeah, it does look really good though. It looks really fun. I'll show you sometime soon, because it looks incredible. Like, it's a beautiful game. I just think the irony of an anti-capitalist game having a release date and being sold for $60, and it's just like, man, like anti-capitalism and like progressivism has seriously been commodified.
Oh yeah,
and people are buying it up like.
Well, it's been commodified for like cyberpunk as a genre has been commodified for a long time, but
it was a little more niche before. It wasn't so mass market. Now it's just everywhere. I would say that the Matrix probably really blew that up a lot too.
In a way, yeah.
So,
I would also say like Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, Blade Runner I think is like kind of like early nexus of cyberpunk, maybe a little bit before that.
In like film and those
in
kind
film
of media,
for sure,
because like that kind of genre in books, I think
probably has existed for some time. Yeah.
Because just the idea of androids is still like within science fiction all the way
the
back
melding of humans with technology is always a staple of cyberpunk.
You have to assume that as soon as people who were writing these books were cognizant of the concept of like a robot, immediately
totally started happening. Yeah, that was probably like as far back as the 50s. You could probably trace origins of cyberpunk back.
You could probably go earlier, because like a lot of just like the really prolific sci-fi writers, they thought of shit really like even like H.G. Wells' The Time Machine, the concept of time travel thought out to that extent was a little ahead of its time, and that was in the 1800s. So I mean, you could probably safely say in the 20s or 30s, even the conception as you have engines that are being built, the notion of a engine run man, you know.
Oh yeah, I guess so, huh? Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's really interesting.
My idea of the horse-drawn man.
Oh my God. You'll make millions, dude.
Listen, it's a robot, but he's powered by really small horses.
Like what I did like about Cyberpunk is they like really early on did a commentary on like healthcare and how expensive it is. Yeah. Like it was one of like the first thing that happens in the game. I'm not really spoiling anything to anybody. I just like, I don't know if people, we spoil shit all the time. I don't care.
We're going to spoil DooLittle later. So,
but like you're fighting like through this like gang territory, and you get to like this back room where there are like people in bathtubs, like with organs being harvested. interested, and you like check this girl's like ID, and she has like the Platinum Plus health plan, and so they were like, wow, that's super expensive. She must be super important, you know, because she has the Platinum Plus. You'd think once her vitals went off the mainframe or what the fuck ever, you know, there'd be, you know, paramedics like parachuting in and stuff because she spends a lot of money on healthcare. She's worth more. She's more important.
Yeah.
And so they got that out of the way real quick, which I think was a good move. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping they're going to keep pushing. I really want them to continue with the commentary, but it was like made by a company that is profit driven. Yeah. So they're gonna hamstring it somehow, and I don't know where it's gonna be yet.
Yeah.
But but yeah, it's a cool game. Other than that, looks beautiful. If you have a computer that can run it, you should absolutely play it. But nobody has a computer that can run it except for like me and Kelly.
Yeah, that's right. The only two people. Yeah, but let's get into movies. Which one do you want to talk about first?
The Family Stone. Let's get this one out of the way.
All right. So the Family Stone.
So the family themselves are named Stone. Mm-hmm. So not only are they talking about a wedding ring,
baby.
Yeah,
I'm pointing to my ring.
The most important symbolism of love: expensive rocks.
Well, this one's a familial rock.
Yeah.
It
was probably expensive at one point.
A stone family stone.
Oh my God, yeah. It's like it's duplicitous in both ways. It's the family stone, and they're also the family stone.
Yep.
The and Stone
also,
family.
God,
that is so stupid.
That is the extent of the creativity of this movie. Like I could say right off the bat, you were talking about it when we first started watching the movie. You were like, "Is this a sequel?"
It felt like a sequel,
and I think that the best thing that this movie did is in about 3 to 5 minutes they established all the general characteristics.
26 characters are introduced to you with one line each. It seemed like I'm thinking of like a National Lampoon's Vacation, right? With like Chevy Chase, and how like you had this family that was in 2 different movies that were entirely different. Right. So you had like in Vacation, they introduced the characters, the son and the daughter, and like they're shitty people and ridiculous. It's a comedy of errors that leads up to Chevy Chase's character buying a gun and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, and just like insane stuff. But then you have National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is a direct sequel, but a totally different story entirely. Like they stay home and they like decorate their house, and you get to see that aspect. That's what that felt like. I thought like maybe there was a movie before this where you meet some of these characters that has, you know, a different plot of some kind, you know, who knows? That wasn't the case. This is the only movie, and they had so many characters. It was like a blitz of characters. By the end of the movie, there were like characters that they were talking about. We had no idea who they were. They like sentimentally like put a photo of someone in black and white like on their Christmas tree, like as an ornament. We were like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah. Well,
we didn't know.
They might have established the person by name. They did not establish that person by what they looked like.
Apparently not. At all. Or maybe they did and we missed it. Like
I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be the mom when she was younger, and then they also mentioned the grandma, so it could have been that. So the Family Stone basic plot: Sarah Jessica Parker is dating Dermot Mulroney, who brings her home. And
everyone hates her.
Oh God, everyone fucking hates her. But
she is kind of the worst though.
Oh, she's worse than the worst. She's like her Sex and the City character, but without any charisma or the script being on her side,
or plot armor.
Yeah, like, and Dermot Mulroney brought her there with the intention of getting the familial wedding ring to propose to Sarah Jessica Parker. Then there's Owen Wilson, Rachel McAdams.
No, Luke Wilson, the lesser Wilson.
Yeah, who I thought was the same as David Arquette, and I'm wrong.
They do look kind of similar.
They do.
Wasn't David Arquette? What was he was in
Scream.
He was also in 8-Legged Freaks. Have you ever seen that?
Yep, he was in 8-Legged Freaks.
That's a movie that we should watch. I actually kind of think that movie's fun.
All right.
But he was in all sorts of stuff. He was Doofy in Scream, or the character that got translated to Doofy in Scary Movie.
Dewey was his real name.
I seriously like Scary Movie and Scream are so similar. I like mix up elements from each one like all the time. Like I'm not entirely sure who plays who in which one, because it's like 2 sets of the same characters played by different actors. Yeah. It's like mega confusing to me. I think we also watched them really close together too.
Yeah, we did. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we went from Scary Movie to all the Screams.
Yeah.
And then we just couldn't watch the 4th one because it was so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this movie, like the characters aren't that varied. I like the most varied character is they have like a deaf gay brother.
Oh yeah, and they just get that out of the way real quick. Yeah. They were probably some of the more interesting.
Yeah, because there's like the one good scene in the movie is they have this dinner where like Sarah Jessica Parker has like the opinion that like, wouldn't you want a normal kid and not a gay kid? Ooh. Like, and
this was the early 2000s.
Yeah, and she's like, wouldn't you be afraid that because you're two gay men and you're adopting that you're gonna make the kid gay, and don't you not want that for a kid?
Yeah, no wonder they fucking hate her. She's like, she sounds like she's the worst,
and everyone's just like, fuck you, it's enough. And then
seriously,
like the mom like signs to her son, she's like, you're the most normal one of all of us to fucking listen
and
to
they
her.
Are.
Yeah.
like they are.
They just have like a healthy relationship, and they understand that maybe like Dermot, don't marry Sarah Jessica Parker. She's the worst.
They aren't trading their partners with their siblings, which happens.
Yeah. They just fucking swing.
It's weird.
Nothing awkward about it.
Yeah. Rachel McAdams is in this.
Yep.
And that's the extent of her character.
Yeah, well, she has an NPR bag at the beginning.
She dates Mark Brendanawicz.
Yep.
Mark Brendanawicz.
Why are you yelling at me?
Because I just remembered that also Mark Brendanawicz is in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh god, and like and but the main plot is Dermot Mulroney's in love with Sarah Jessica Parker's sister, and
wait, that's her sister?
Yeah,
I thought it was Luke Wilson's girlfriend.
No, that's Luke Wilson didn't have a girlfriend and ended up with
the sister.
With Sarah. No, she
and then they swapped. So he just starts dating his ex-girlfriend's sister.
No, like they weren't really dating. He was hitting on her, but they weren't actually dating. That was her sister, like Sarah Jessica Parker's.
No, Dermot Mulroney was dating Sarah Jessica Partner, and then started dating Sarah. Oh my god.
Yeah,
her sister.
Yeah, and they seem to get instantaneously. Oh, I'm kind of remembering the movie that we watched. The one where the guy's married on his honeymoon. Nope, that's not a movie we watched. Never mind.
There was the Ben Stiller one.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called. Yeah, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Fuck it. But yeah, so this movie has very low stakes. The only stakes are swinging, which doesn't matter in this world.
Yeah.
Because the family's a bunch of fucking hippies.
There was like this one part when Luke Wilson, he didn't actually sleep with Sarah Jessica Carter. You know what I'm talking
Nick
about.
Carter, yeah.
With Nick Cannon.
Damn, fantastic.
He's fantastic. But it comes up that Dermot Mulroney finds out somehow that they sort of slept together, and then he's gonna fight him, right? And this happens like in front of his entire family, and it's like the energetic part from the Nutcracker song.
Yeah.
You know that one?
Yeah.
And it's just like, geez, like fun music for this, like what would be probably family shattering and not awesome and not funny
so fast because
just so quickly. Just like, oh well, because I guess in this world women are just props,
and they be shopping.
And they be shopping, and they want that family stone.
Yeah, you gotta get that family stone.
How else is somebody gonna know that you love them if you don't buy them an expensive ring?
Well, he didn't buy it for her.
That's why it didn't work out, dude.
Yeah. Well, no, like the weirdest part of it was like he wanted to like have someone try it on to see how it looked. So he's like, hey, girl who I'm going to end up with at the end of the movie, you want to try on this ring? And then it gets stuck on her finger.
Oh my God.
And it was just like so cringe.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Like, why would you do that?
You wouldn't.
Like, it's like if I married one of your sisters but made you try on the ring. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really fucking weird.
Yeah. You just don't do that.
I mean, I'd do that for you.
Dude, I know you would. I'm not marrying one of your sisters. Stop pushing this on me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And Sarah Jessica Parker she makes like a big egg thing that like gets spilled everywhere. She's like making something like furiously, and
I have no idea what that was supposed to be.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be anything. It was like supposed to get splashed.
Ooze.
Yeah, it was supposed to get splashed all over her. That's the only reason they put that in there, is so it could be splashed on a character.
Yeah.
She was just like, this is gonna end up all over the fucking floor, isn't it? Like, she's
better
like
be
furiously
slippery as hell.
so dumb. Like, and she was making like weird shit and like put the wrong stuff in it.
Yeah,
like,
she like put 3 rocks from the backyard.
She put 3 family stones in there.
Huge, like a bunch of wedding rings, T-Rex steak, half an ostrich egg, but only the whites.
That T-Rex steak, is that what you said?
It sure did.
Damn. That T-Rex
But then, of course, cotton candy, Nerds rope.
Candy. A nerd's rope.
Just trying to think, like, what's the worst thing you can put together with that?
Also onions and ketchup.
A month-old Reuben sandwich.
Oh, it's like fermenting.
Well, I mean,
Makes it boozy. That's why she had to put it in the fridge to ferment or whatever.
Yeah, it was actually kombucha.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what else happened in that movie?
Nothing.
Other than like at the end, they just kept introducing more and more fucking. There were like literally 20 characters by the end of the movie.
Yeah,
there's so many.
It's one of those movies that every scene there's like one more person. You're like, wait a second.
Yeah, they're just like cramming them in. It's like by the end, they're like they have like a shovel trying to cram these people into the house, like bursting at the seams, like arms flailing out the windows.
The last scene was so full that when Dermot Mulrooney and his girlfriend / fiance come in, they just like walk in the back and like aren't in the actual scene surrounding the Christmas tree.
That's right. And I was just like, wait, where the fuck are they? And you were like, they walked in. I was like, I didn't see him walk in. Like, I didn't even notice. I couldn't see him around all the other characters.
That's the real pull of this movie, is it's also a little bit like Where's Waldo? So 10 out of 10, best movie.
No, that movie sucked ass. It's so sappy, dude. It was so sappy and just like such an ill reflection of reality.
Yeah.
Like I kept thinking like that they were gonna, because their house was insane. I'm talking like John Hughes, 1980s rich kid, but they have problems big. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no one in this movie had a problem.
Yeah.
Everyone,
no one in this. Yeah, exactly.
Everyone had a great time. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. And yeah, it was just this, like there were with like, I can't stand movies about or stories about wealthy people who have any issues at all. Like that makes me so fucking mad. It's just like, this is like what they have to do with their time because they have so much money. They don't even know what to do with it.
They all have to get involved in their son's love life. Like, it's like, no one, honestly,
it's like, you should just be happy for your son.
Yeah. If your family doesn't like the girl you're dating, who cares?
Kind of tell them to fuck off.
Like, honestly, like sometimes they might have a good point. Sometimes I'll give them that. Yeah. Like they have your best interests at heart.
If you have a self-destructive tendency to get involved with people who are genuinely bad for your health.
Yeah.
Right. Then that's like, one thing.
Yeah.
That's an intervention. That's different.
That's
right?
different. It's not like just like, but I'm going to tell
guy
you
had
who
like,
to date. Like
this guy had like he was driving like a Mercedes and had a great job.
And he was like running for mayor. I think they mentioned at one point.
Of course he was. Yeah.
He was running for governor.
For governor.
Dude, I think every state should have a governor and a governor.
Yeah.
Damn, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'll be the governor of Texas.
Damn right. No, that's ridiculous.
Oh, ridiculous. He's running for state governor.
He's running for president with Bigfoot as his running mate. Ridiculous foot.
Yeah. And Dermot Mulrooney is running the campaign.
Oh my God. He makes such a good. Well, no, Mark Brendanowitz would probably be running.
But I feel like Ridiculous would have a harder time saying Dermot Mulrooney. So
dang old Dermot Muldooney. You can't say
Dermis Moldy.
Dang. I can't even say his name.
That's how you pick a fucking someone who you're going to talk about. You just got to talk about people whose names you can't say.
Dude, can we talk about Dermot Mulrooney's parents and what the hell they were thinking and naming him Dermot Mulrooney?
Yeah, it sounds like, but like I was saying that like both of his names sound like the names of marsupials.
Yeah, they Dermot or a Mulrooney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know cats are marsupials?
Damn. So the old.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, should we move on to the next movie?
Yeah, what else did we watch?
We watched About Time. I think that we should save DooLittle for our big.
Oh yeah, we got some weird shit. There's like only one thing I think we have to talk about with DooLittle, but yeah, let's talk about Time.
It's a weird movie. It's like you put it perfectly. I think you were saying it's a lot like Benjamin Button.
Yeah, almost. Thematically or tonally almost identical to Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
It's like there was a whole bunch of little mini stories and events that happened within the story, but there was like no real conflict. Yeah. I mean, like we can go over the premise here.
Yeah.
Basically on Domhnall Gleeson's 21st birthday, his dad, Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean. It's that actor. I don't know what his fucking name is.
I think he was also in Harry Potter. I think he was the minister. He seems like an actor. I think he was minister of magic.
That's right. Yeah, he seems like a very Harry Potter actor. He's got a weird looking face, but anyway, he's a fine actor.
Yeah.
So he pulls Domhnall Gleeson into his palatial estate's home office.
Yeah, of course, because you got to have some place.
He's got to be wealthy.
Speeches. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I have a speech room and a solarium.
That's where he keeps what Davy Jones. That's where he keeps his locker. Anyway,
you like that joke way too much.
So he pulls him in there and says, all right, son, now that you're 21, you have to know the secret that the men in the family can travel back in time if you hold your fists together and close your eyes and imagine you go back in time and you can relive events in your life.
Yeah, you can't relive any other events except for those in your own life.
Yeah. Before we move on, we have to talk about the rules of this because we were both thoroughly confused by the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. It seems that he can only travel back in time from his own perspective, so he's not creating copies of himself every time he goes back in time.
Yeah, he just reappears as himself and then relives that moment.
And relives those moments fully as he was in that time. Also, it seemed as though once he does that, he has to live back through the time up until when he went back.
Right.
But it turns out that's not the case.
Yeah, he can separate himself, do the clench fist thing, and move back to the present for him.
Which we did not really understand, and they never told us that
until way too late,
and kind of hamstrung a lot of the movie.
Yeah,
because I thought that he was reliving all of those events again, which added some level of not necessarily danger, but like at least something to what was going on. But apparently he was leaping back and forth. He couldn't go to his own future because those events didn't happen yet. Makes sense.
Yeah, he doesn't remember them. You have to remember them.
But him bouncing back to the present had me a little confused. I don't see why they, first of all, didn't say anything about it. Mm-hmm. Maybe in a cut scene.
Maybe. I mean, it's a long movie.
It is a pretty long movie. So
the other big rules are once you have a kid, you can't jump back to before you had a kid because the chaos theory will make the kid turn out
a different kid.
Yeah.
So you'll end up, because of events, because of like what you ate that day, your sperm count could change. It would be a different sperm.
Yeah.
Which kind of sure. Works. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like really it does.
Yeah. And that's the only thing that's the only real steadfast rule. So like the big conflict of so early on, it's kind of like more like a rom-com.
Very rom-com.
He initially meets Rachel McAdams in what seems like a kind of a cool idea for a blind date where it's like a pitch black room.
Yeah.
And like,
I actually like that.
Yeah. Like that's kind of a fun way of getting.
You get to meet someone and see if you like them before basing your entire opinion on them, on their looks.
Yeah. It's like, I'm tired of people being shallow with me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're always like, man, I bet if I waxed up his head, I could just slide him down a fucking corridor by that thing. Women are always saying that to me.
It's so shiny, like a shuffleboard court.
I'm wondering if I rub it, if it'll tell my future.
Oh, that's awesome.
But he initially ruins it with that girl by traveling back in time to help his like sad sack friend he's living with.
Yeah.
Best character
in the movie. That guy was awesome. He was like the only bit of cynicism that the entire movie had.
Yeah.
Was like his dad's like friend from like high school or some shit.
Yeah. And who hated his dad.
Yeah. Who hated everyone and himself.
Yeah.
But he was always like drunk and wearing sunglasses in every scene. He was always like, I don't fucking care. Like, I was like, damn, that's badass.
Oh, but it's lame when Johnny Depp does it. Okay.
I don't know. Johnny Depp doesn't have an excuse.
No, he doesn't.
Well, maybe he does.
Maybe he does.
Yeah,
he could. But yeah, so the other central conflict. So early on, he does like a comedy of errors kind of thing where he just keeps trying to meet this girl and
like make it work and make it perfect every time, which we kind of discussed as a little disingenuous of him.
Yeah. But also, they kind of justify it because he does never tell her about his power.
Ever.
Because he shouldn't, because he kind of had to manipulate.
Because he would ruin his marriage and probably ruin her life.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, they never touched on that, but like in a movie that's like this, you'd think they would.
Yeah.
Like where it would come down to he has no choice but to tell her about it for whatever reason, for X reason. And I'm kind of disappointed they didn't do that, because that would have been a better conflict than no conflict.
Well, I think they were going for like a father-son thing.
Yeah.
But it was kind of detached in a lot of ways because the father just wasn't in the movie enough.
He wasn't there very often.
You didn't really get the scope of their relationship.
It worked a little bit towards the end, though.
Yeah, it was definitely
because
like...
his father dies and then he has another kid, so he can't go back and see his father ever again.
Yeah, like, and I think that's like, they just didn't jump on that the way they should have.
Yeah.
He should have been a little bit more tortured about that concept.
Yeah. One thing I thought was going to happen is that, especially because he has a sister, and his sister is always getting involved, or gets involved with like this dude that's just awful to her, and she starts drinking and making terrible decisions.
Gets in a terrible car crash while she was drunk.
Yeah. And so he goes back to fix it. And to like stop her from being with this guy. And what I was thinking was going to happen, and I think this would have been better, is that he would have had to come down to a choice, right? Where he could either keep his perfect life where his sister is suffering, or he could go back and then fix his sister's life, but never meet his wife.
Yeah.
And I thought that's why I was just like, he has to live back through everything. That's when I still thought that was the case before he could jump back to the present. But then he just goes back to the present, and so everything's back to normal. The really
confusing part to me was that she said after they come back from like that whole situation that she would be with like this one guy, and then for whatever reason the car crash thing happens again.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why.
They never really explain it.
And it's very confusing.
Yeah. It's like, this is a movie where it's very clearly more about than anything else, the emotionality of the circumstances.
Yeah. And also I think it's a concept I like in movies. It's like the idea that someone who's even special still just wants a normal life and has to learn how to accept what life gives them.
Yeah. That's what it is by the end. And he decides to stop doing the traveling through time thing.
Yeah, completely. And like, I love the philosophy that his dad gave him for like when he died, like, be sad, then redo all the days and enjoy everything beautiful about it. And and just the notion that no matter what your personal circumstances, the world's no beautiful or less beautiful. Like, there were nice sentiments in there.
Yeah.
I just think they were less earned than they probably should have been. And I think
so too.
I think what the first and latter half of the movies being so different, it kind of detracted from that nice sentiment that they gave at the end of just like humanity and like how should you treat every day.
Yeah.
You know, and that wasn't really a discussion until the last act.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think you're right. The first half and the second half of this movie are very, very wildly different. And I do think that having some more stakes like in there, like he has to make a choice, like between saving his sister's life and saving his own perfect marriage and life, like that would have added so much more depth to his character. Yeah, he didn't have any depth at all, really. He's a POV character. He's just a really good guy who wants to be normal. But that's like not enough. He was like awkward at the beginning, but then that falls to the wayside and he just becomes, everybody loves him. And
I think they just... it feels like they thought of what the concept of the movie was in the third act. Yeah. It's a movie that definitely felt like it was being written as it was being recorded.
Yeah, I can agree with you completely there.
Like a cohesive script. I think that like the stakes could have been higher, definitely. I don't think it needed an extreme. It just needed to be a little bit more like pointed. Yeah. And like you should be following along and like seeing his hardship and why he had to make a choice the way that he did. And like all the hardships are kind of skimmed over. Like when she was like, I want to have another baby. It's like, I don't know. I have to think about it because of the dad thing. Yeah. And then like 2 seconds later, it's like, okay, let's do it. It's like that part should be the long part where he is dealing with that. And he can go back and he could talk to his dad. They could have a heartfelt conversation about what that means. You know? Yeah. It's I
think instead of like going through every decision he makes throughout his life, which ends up being like a whole bunch of little stories stacked into one movie. Yeah. And I think that's something that also reminded me of Benjamin Button.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like just a view of this guy's entire weird life. And there's even like voiceover towards the end.
Yeah, which appears out of nowhere.
There wasn't that before. And so this movie was definitely trying to tug on those same heartstrings that Benjamin Button was trying to tug on. Benjamin Button was 2007.
Okay, so this is 2013, so fully different. Yeah. And he didn't even so one thing we haven't even touched on is Margot Robbie was like his childhood crush, which is the whole reason why he left town.
Who I did not recognize. She like looked different. I think she was just younger, honestly.
Also, you know, you've seen her in Wolf of Wall Street and the Suicide Squad movies.
Where she's wearing makeup in both of them.
Yeah. I think she looks a lot like her in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's how I could like tell.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that whole thing where she like wants to sleep with him after all that time, that should have been a conflict for him.
Yeah. Well, he ends up like turning it down, which is just like, oh, because he's the best guy ever. Like he should have like I was hoping that there was going to be some like lie that he was caught in, that he would try to fix, to like correct his path in life. Like after he sleeps with her and lies to his wife about it, and so he tries to go back and fix it, and he makes it worse, and then and like that would be a conflict. But instead of that, everything just turns out perfectly. They get married, then they have a kid, and like the whole latter half, when all of that stuff is happening, is just so quick. Like the concept of time just completely goes out the window.
I think that was a problem.
Flies by. Well, the first like act really only took place over the course of, well, no, you're right, because he was there for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Like at his dad's friend's house, and we were like, how long has it been?
Yeah. I mean, I would love to say that this movie thought about that and like, oh, we want to make the viewer like conscious of not understanding how time works, but it's like it wasn't that pointed. It just wasn't.
Yeah. I think they also wanted, so, you know, like when you see like a Wes Anderson movie and it's so stylized and it has this like fake like sheen of whimsy over top, and you're like, this could take place at any time in history, or it's very fairy tale like. I think they wanted that like fairy tale aspect to it.
It's in some ways achieved that, but in other ways didn't.
Just kind of fell flat and felt like a drama. I mean, I think Benjamin Button tried to go for the same thing and failed in the exact same way.
And like, it was really funny because we both kept going, this is so fucking British. Like in the randomly during
super
the movie,
British movie.
It was a very British movie.
Yeah, it's just like
they had Mr. Dursley in it. Like it was
like every British actor ever was in this movie.
Yeah, it was
so
crazy.
You ready? But yeah,
is that what we want to say about it? Anything else?
Yeah, let's I mean, like, I don't know, as far as going to see About Time, it's on Netflix right now. It had some sweet moments. It's kind of long.
Yeah, I would say like
a little longer than I would have liked, but
watch it with someone who just
means something to you,
or like just wants a feel good movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Avery says knocking over beer cans. All right, now we're talking about DooLittle. I'll tell you what sure did little for me.
I'm calling the cops.
I said that zinger right before we started recording again.
And I don't think there's a way you could have made me more upset. I
was like, don't start talking yet. Like as if that joke was worth it.
You don't talk until I tell my brilliant joke.
My brilliant masterpiece joke.
It's okay. You're not real.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've gathered you here today to thank you all for being excellent figments of my imagination. This is me at Ash's wedding. I want to thank you so much for completely not existing, but only being in my brain and helping me through a challenging time.
He's just got like a tie, but it's completely on backwards.
I'm drunk. Oh God. Woo. Thank you all for being part of my downfall. Woo. Your family's
see you on the
what?
Streets.
You're like, I don't know. Your family looks and they're like, oh, what? Who is this poor man? I don't know what your family's like.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
DooLittle. 2020's DooLittle. Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
Michael Sheen. So many voice actors. Tom Holland. Jason Mantzoukas.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yep.
I think that's how you say his name.
Cena.
John Cena. I don't remember which one's which. I think
John Cena was the bear and the ostrich was Kumail Nanjiani.
Okay. And then a smattering of other people.
Yeah, Octavia Spencer, like fucking crazy voice acting cast. Terrible movie.
Yeah. So I think we need to discuss briefly, why does this movie exist?
Yep.
Because I don't know who wanted a Dr. DooLittle movie. I don't know who thought that this was a good idea, what the target demo was. None of it makes any sense.
No, none of it does. And like, ugly too.
Yeah, it all had the same lighting. Every scene had the same lighting. Even the scenes when they were in the cave, they all looked exactly the same.
Yep.
Like I found myself baffled more than anything throughout the runtime of this movie, and not because it was necessarily bad, like it was super forgettable,
but it was definitely bad, right?
yeah, like it wasn't good by any means. Like, and it wasn't like so pathetically terrible that I was like offended, except for one part.
Yeah.
But like
the best part,
the part that really had us questioning, which we will talk about shortly, but like, what was this? Was this like a whole bunch of actors getting together and because they haven't been working over COVID? Well, no, this was before COVID.
Yeah. This came out still in the theaters.
So like, why was this made? Was this like a SAG thing? Like they had to make a movie? Like, I mean, like the union was just like, you need to put us in a movie.
Yeah. Maybe Robert Downey Jr. was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Shit.
You think he panicked?
Maybe. This seems like a panic movie.
I don't think he panicked, man. I think he has enough where he could just retire.
I know, but he's not Iron Man anymore.
But he's got hundreds of millions of dollars, you know?
Yeah, he lives in a windmill.
Yeah, he does. He will never have to worry about money for the rest of his life. It's like...
Maybe does he have kids?
See, I don't know. I feel like he does, but I don't know.
Are they in the right age group for this?
Probably not. I don't think any kids are in the right age group for that. There's like legitimate ass play in this movie, dude. It's so bizarre.
Sorry, let me take my jaw off the floor.
I still thinking about this. I don't know why this movie was made. Like no one's asked. I guess like, is it just like Hollywood being like, what do we have? Oh God, what do we have?
Yeah, I kind of feel, I mean, I think this did come out in a dump month.
Yeah, it was like a January, but it had like legitimate act. Robert Downey Jr. was in it.
Yeah.
Like, why is he in a dump month movie? Like, did he just think like, I'll just do this, make $4 million, and then probably more than that even? Yeah,
like it just doesn't seem like a movie that's worth him being on. It's not really worth anyone being on set.
I guess like
if I was Robert Downey Jr., I'd want to be one of the voice actors. You could get all your lines done in a couple hours. You're out of there.
Yeah, but like being the lead, did like he like was his agent like, they're gonna pay you $50 million to do this?
Like, it wasn't like a good acting role for him.
Not really. Like he's
a boring character.
He's like an uninteresting character. Like it all of like the lack of character development just went into like making him look colorful. Yeah. That was it. That was all they did. He didn't really have a character.
I'm trying to think. Well, what movie was he in that he was like very like
I don't know.
I don't know how to describe it. Like pointed and overly physical. This felt like a Johnny Depp role.
Yeah, but Johnny Depp is a raging alcoholic now, so they can't put him in stuff like this anymore.
It kind of felt like this is fuck it, dude, make it Johnny Depp. Tim Burton's directing. I'd watch that. That would probably be better.
Burton it probably would have been better.
Yeah,
like a weird hyper stylized version of this. That's what it needed. It needed some more. It needed art direction.
Oh, art direction.
It was so flat. Everything about this was so bland.
They just had like one of the polar bears from Golden Compass in it.
Yeah, like almost like it looked. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it looked like they just reused the asset.
Yeah.
Like, was this super cheap to make? Like I don't understand why.
I don't either.
Like, who did like this? Must have been. I feel like there had to have been some like contract dispute or something, and this movie's the result.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't under. Wait, who was this? A Disney movie or was it Warner Brothers?
I don't know. Huh. I don't know. Probably not Disney.
No, I don't think.
Maybe.
I don't know. Dr. DooLittle.
I don't know. Nobody cares about Dr. DooLittle.
Yeah. This is the thing that I missed out on, like the not the original, because apparently there was one in the 50s.
Yeah,
that was kind of.
It's similar. A character that's been brought up.
Yeah, but like the Eddie Murphy one was like modernized, and that's kind of what made it fun.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about the Eddie Murphy Dr. DooLittle. I'm sure it was just as embarrassing as this one.
Well, Eddie Murphy movies, yeah.
There's no way, but like, see, that's what I didn't understand is like.
Like, who was asking for this?
Yeah, and that's the most confusing part. And like the only thing that I can think is they were like, what the fuck do we have? What rights do we have? What can we make? And then they just like, because they knew it was a sack of shit, they just pumped it up with notable names for actors. And like, they were just like, here you go.
Is this what Hollywood thinks furries like?
They're going for that sweet furry market.
Or scalies in the case of people who dress up as dragons or lizards.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah,
dude. The general plot of this movie, Dr. Doolittle's a recluse after his wife dies. And then like a boy brings him a squirrel, and like an annoying girl's like, you have to save the queen or you're going to lose your habitat.
So annoying. She was such a know-it-all. She would come in and she'd be just like, actually,
it's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then they go on a trip to find the Eden tree, and then Antonio
that's
Banderas,
what they were doing?
Like, yeah, they were trying to find the Eden tree to cure her nightshade poisoning that Professor Slughorn gave her.
And also a guy who's not Simon Pegg.
Yeah, it's Michael Sheen.
Yeah, and he looks exactly like Simon Pegg. And I think they probably wanted Simon Pegg. And they were just like, I guess we'll settle for this other really British guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And don't forget Antonio Banderas.
I don't even remember what he was.
He was the king of the island where they fought the saber-tooth, or the tiger, not the saber-tooth tiger, the tiger.
I have no recollection of that.
Oh, okay.
I don't even remember that.
Avery has caught a case of what I like to call dumb brain.
What? I remember he fought a tiger, and the tiger was making like bad puns and stuff.
Antonio Banderas was like the king of that island. And he has like the speech where he's like going to cut Robert Downey Jr. He's like, I hate you, but I love my daughter.
Well, goddamn, I don't remember any. I must have been out of the room.
No, I think you were just like zoned out. You were just like, you kept being like, dude, I think I blacked out for a spell.
Oh, that was right. That was that night. I realized I was watching it and wasn't paying any attention and not doing anything else.
Yeah, but so they go around the world to try and find
something.
Yeah, the Eden fruit to cure
save
nightshade poisoning, and it's a big adventure. They go on a boat, then they go on a different boat.
Yeah, there's a lot of boats.
Then they have to.
Then they go to an
Michael.
island,
yeah.
and then there's a dragon, and the dragon's constipated, so they have to pull suits of armor out of its ass.
Yep.
And
it's so amazing.
Yeah.
It's like it's so out of fucking left field.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it looks like she has gastrointestinal pain. Get her on her side. We'll fix this. And I'm like, okay, he's gonna do a doctor thing. He's like, pulling shit out of her ass.
Straight up suits of armor. And he says something like, oh, you got the whole Spanish Inquisition in here or something like that. Which is actually like the only good joke out of the movie, but the context makes it unbearable.
It's also going into my bedroom repertoire, telling girls like, hey, you got the whole Spanish Inquisition. They'll love that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so they pull stuff out of a dragon's ass, and then they get the Garden of Eden, and then the queen's alive.
Yay.
Yeah.
And he gets to keep his thing. And also like there's a boy in it, and he like
I forgot about the boy because he's completely forgettable and sucks.
Yeah, he should have been the POV character where everything's kind of wondrous.
I think they kind of did that, but like not also really. Robert Downey Jr. is in it, so they're just like, we got to make DooLittle the main character.
They should have just made it one of the Stranger Things kids, and then it would have been fine. Like people would have tried to associate with that kid a little more,
or just not even have that character. Because he didn't do anything.
Don't make this movie.
Yeah, or just not. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the things. Like,
just give me a 3-minute video of Robert Downey Jr. pulling some shit out of a dragon's ass, and I'm good.
And that's it. That's all we need. It doesn't make any sense that this movie existed. It like, I can't imagine that somebody just wholeheartedly made this and signed Robert Downey Jr. You know, like what I don't understand is what legal dispute happened that blackmailed all of these actors into this movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, you always assume that. That's your first assumption. Anything that's baffling, you're just like, oh yeah, everyone got blackmailed. Because it's happened before.
The movie 43 precedent does stand. I understand.
Yeah.
But I think that sometimes just people have bad agents.
Maybe. I can't imagine, like, Robert Downey Jr.'s agent, you think he's bad? He got him into the MCU, dude. Like, yeah,
but like once he
maybe he fired his agent.
Maybe.
And the new agent's just getting him like weird, shitty roles.
Like Robert Downey Jr. kind of didn't need an agent once he was in the MCU.
Once he was in it, but to get that role, he definitely did.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I don't know, his agent's making 10% off the top. That's this industry standard rate. He could have developed, let's say, a mescaline addiction.
Yeah, it's possible. And, he could have afforded it.
Yeah. Or, Eddie Murphy asked him directly. Like, you're the only guy who can play me.
Please. Carry the torch.
Robert Downey Jr. is like, I did blackface in one movie. Okay, chill.
Oh my God, dude. He did. And everybody's just kind of forgiven him for it.
Yeah.
I think the reason... So since there's not really anything else to talk about DooLittle, I think the reason that Robert Downey Jr. has been forgiven for the blackface is because of the commentary the character was actually making.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't great. I'm not going to lie to you. Not the best commentary. The attempt at commentary has made a lot of people kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
It's still weird.
It's like, what I think is interesting is it's such a faux pas to do blackface, but like actual actors will do blackface and like, I guess thinking that they're doing a commentary. And I think that's the only reason it still happens is because they think that the commentary they're making is actually greater than it is. And so like, it ends up being like, they just did blackface, and maybe let's just stop doing that.
Yeah. I mean, it hasn't happened in a few years. So I think we're are getting close to the other side, but
yeah, it'll happen again, and you'll be like, "Oh no!"
My
it'll happen again.
Sacha Baron Cohen will do blackface.
Oh my God!
He would be the one person I could see doing blackface. And
I think he would be able to put together a more pointed commentary, though.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But he definitely would be the next person to do it, I think.
He's also got a risky enough style of humor. Mm-hmm. It's already kind of racially charged to begin with, with like by design. Yeah. That I think like he could probably get away with it, and it'd just be kind of like one of those crazy Sacha Baron Cohen things that he does.
Yeah. And
I think like
bros would just quote it all the time.
Oh God.
Like that's the thing is like, as much as he could do a pointed commentary with it, the amount of dumb people that love Sacha Baron Cohen is the more frightening element than like what he actually would do with it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. Man, I don't know. It is pretty bizarre that Robert Downey Jr. Maybe his shitty agent got him that role in Tropic Thunder.
I think that was the point I was trying to make, but never got to.
So I got you a role.
All right.
But it's blackface. So I think he was just like getting back onto the acting scene in Tropic Thunder.
He probably would have been more like, listen, Robbie baby, because he calls him, he's an agent. Yeah. Got you a new role. They want you to be very tan for the role.
Very tan.
Very tan. I believe this color of tanner is shoe polish black.
Oh my God, dude.
It's like, doesn't it seem a little close to just
don't think too hard about it.
Agree to it, then read the script.
Your face is going to be black. And but it's not blackface.
No, it's not. It's not. You will be playing a black guy or a guy playing a black guy. You're not in blackface. You're playing a guy who's doing blackface. You see how meta that is?
See, the layers are there enough you can distance yourself from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And no one remembers who you are. You'll never play, let's say, a famous superhero that's around for 10 years.
Yeah. That could never happen.
Yeah. So you don't even think you're going to have a career, honestly. Yeah.
So Robert Downey Jr., because he had a whole host of issues in the early 2000s, I think late 90s. And I've seen like interviews with him where interviewers will try to like bring it up, and it's super awkward because he's just like, what the hell are you like? No, we're not doing this. Yeah. And then he'll like get up and leave. It's actually kind of awesome. Yeah. He's just like, why would you bring that up? Like, you're an asshole, dude. Yeah. And, but for a period of time, I think it's the same thing that's happening to Johnny Depp. Mm-hmm. He's, I'm pretty sure what they call uninsurable, mm-hmm. which means like you're pretty much blacklisted. Yeah. It's like you can't get any roles because apparently you're so off the deep end. You, and I don't know definitively if Robert Downey Jr. actually fell into that category or not, but some of the stuff that I've read about like what he's done was kind of seemed like that. Yeah. And so
he's a liability.
Yeah, exactly. More of a liability than he is. But he would always bring great acting performances. So he still was getting roles, but there was a period of time when he wasn't getting any roles at all. And so probably Tropic Thunder was kind of like a big step back for him, mm-hmm. and probably part of the reason why he got the role in the MCU. Yeah. So,
well, I think that, you know, as he has been someone who's been out of it, that's kind of why I think that he just took this to keep being in movies.
Maybe it's such a weird choice. You were like, is he back on drugs again?
Yeah, like that was.
Why did he do this?
Yeah, I mean, like I did say that, and it wasn't the best joke, but yeah, like I don't know. I think that like as you know, if you're someone who's been in and out of working in a lucrative industry, I think you don't want to take the time off.
Maybe he just wanted to do something, and he was like, what is anybody making?
Yeah,
and like, or he was able to shoot it in like a week. Yeah. And they were going to give him $4 million. So he was just like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then he got called back in for the ADR because he was wearing that beard that muffled his voice and they had to redo his lines.
Yeah, I don't know. This movie is baffling.
Yeah, it is definitely an anomaly. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, and what's crazy is like this was advertised like right around the same time Endgame came out. Yeah. Like I remember seeing trailers for this like around the same time Endgame came out. So like why though? Like I don't understand how the pieces fell into place for this. How they got these names for these actors, why they thought it would be a good idea, and how like they didn't quit in the middle of it when they read the script.
Yeah, I mean, like, granted, I think this is supposed to be a child's movie, and so we are the wrong demo. Yeah. In a lot of ways. Yeah. I just don't know which child is interested in this. Yeah, that's the thing. 4 to 6. Like that seems like the age range. Yeah. Tops.
It's like, I think one thing is that, you know, you say it's a movie for children, but like there are children's movies out there that aren't just absolutely brain dead drivel like this.
Oh yeah.
Like look at like The Lion King, like a movie with like a character that develops and there's a plot and like conflict.
Not its own original script though. It's Hamlet.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah.
Yeah,
but like still, it's a children's movie that's based on legitimate story source material that's been replicated multiple times. But like then you look at this, it's not based on anything. It's like from what I can tell, it's just a completely original script with a somewhat recognizable name slapped on top of it. Yeah. But if you're a kid, you're not going to know what Dr. DooLittle is. Like there hasn't been a Dr. DooLittle movie since like 1999.
Yeah. Well, like the thing is, I think it's like anyone whose parents like are like, oh, I love Dr. DooLittle. Let's take.
Who's saying that?
Someone
whose parents are just like, I loved Dr. DooLittle. I think maybe their parents are like, I love Robert Downey Jr. Maybe. So I'll take my kids to see a movie with him in it.
I mean, Dr. DooLittle was like a comedy in the 90s. I mean, like it might even just be grandparents taking the grandkids, you know, like
it's just a filler movie that they just put together because they're like, we'll make something on it.
I think it's just a faint attempt at nostalgia, but they're in the wrong decade.
Yeah. It's so strange. Just such a bizarre anomaly of a film. And I'm like at a loss for words.
Well, let's move along into our last segment.
Let's clean it up here.
Right, 5 words, rating out of 10, The Other Thing.
Yeah.
Recommendation. There we go. I figured it out.
All right, hold on. Okay. I got my 5 words ready.
Yep.
Pulling armor out of dragon's ass. Outa is out like Outa.
Yeah, like straight out of Compton.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, exactly. This movie was baffling and pretty bad. There's really almost no redeeming qualities to it at all. Maybe like I want to be the person who says Robert Downey Jr. put on a great performance at least, but
no.
But like it wasn't like groundbreaking or anything. His accent was pretty bad. Like I don't know why he signed up for this. Like I feel like he's much better than this, but I don't know. Maybe he was like, whatever, they're paying me $8 million or some shit. So this movie gets a 1 out of 10 for me, and the only reason it doesn't get a 0 is because of the ridiculousness and the audacity of putting a scene in a children's movie where Robert Downey Jr. is pulling armor out of a dragon's ass.
And a bagpipe. It's
insane. It's fucking ridiculous. This movie felt like something that a whole bunch of executives got together and they were like, it'd be great, because they're not creative people. They're idiots. And that's probably what it was, right? Like a whole bunch of executives just slap stuff on paper. It was like, kids will like that. Kids are stupid. Kids aren't stupid. But regardless, the movie sucks. Don't watch it. How did we find it? It was on
HBO Max.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
If you want to be baffled, go ahead and watch it. but like only watch it if you're legitimately trying to confuse yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay. My 5 words are a movie all about John Cena.
So bizarre.
Stop trying to make John Cena a thing. Just like give him like a X-Men role or something.
That's what'll happen.
Yeah, he'll be Colossus. Perfect.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, this movie is pretty bad. I have nothing else to add. This movie's going to get a 4 because I like seeing things being pulled out of a dragon's ass that much.
Oh my God.
Avery looked so confused. He's like, what?
It gets a 4. That elevated it to a 4 for you.
Yeah.
4 is pretty generous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how much I liked it.
Dude.
What do you want from me, dude?
I don't know. Maybe
I'm a man with needs.
Maybe some explanation. I don't know. I'm a man with needs.
There's your explanation.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We have been For the Story.
That's right. We love you all so much. Goodbye.